everybody, it's Call Rain Tarot. This week's pick a card is going to be on what is coming next in my love life. So if you could take a couple moments to sit and take a few meditative breaths as you cast your gaze across pile 1, 2, 3, and 4, that will help you choose and connect with your intuition so that you can know which pile has a message for you. On pile 1, we have this little pink granite piece. Pile 2 has this little clear white fire opal. Pile 3 has this little piece of tiger's eye. Pile 4 has another piece of fire opal, but this one's purple and kind of rainbowy. So once you choose, timestamps are going to be in the description below. And you can head on down there and click on whichever pile is calling to you. I'll see you at your pile. Let's get started with pile 1. Hello, pile 1. If you chose this little pink piece of granite, this is going to be your reading. Now, as soon as I tapped into this pile's energy, I just felt uplifted. I feel like you guys are really trying to get into the mindset that's going to manifest what is fulfilling and emotionally balanced for you at this time. So there's nothing that feels really unbalanced or pessimistic or anything like that. So that's a really good intuitive message to receive right away. I also wrote these out without thinking too much about it, so I don't actually remember what is on any of the little cards that I wrote out. So your message right now is you are divinely protected at this time. Now, this, I believe, could be because of something that you're manifesting or because you're doing a lot of soul work and having a lot of growth at this time, and so the universe is trying to provide you with that support behind everything that you're doing and keep it so that everything that you are trying to manifest is also in your best interest from your higher self. So I'm going to shuffle on camera today. Okay, so we're going to get started with the shuffling. If you're anxious about anything, I think that it would be really helpful for you to take some time and spend time with your thoughts, knowing that whatever is coming your way is also half up to divine guidance that is surrounding you right now. And the more that you trust in your guides, the more that you release that anxiety and that stress and that anguish, because whatever is meant to come into your life always will enter your life. Okay, we had cards just fly out. Okay, so I feel like this is a lot of you right now where things aren't manifesting as quickly as you're used to, or you're getting kind of stuck with this Four of Cups energy. This is, in this deck, it's 4 vessels, but this is cups. And this woman is sitting here. It says boredom. I think you're just in a place where maybe you're not even bored. You're just kind of, the energy is stagnating for you. And you're getting a little bit stuck thinking about doubts and fears and worries that you have that are coming up, especially with this moon on water. It's like the fears and the doubts that you may have are kind of getting into your emotions and clouding them and making it so that you can't really focus on what you know to be true. I feel like this message is finding you to make your emotions kind of subside, any negative emotions that you're having that are clouding your judgment, and making it so that you can't think clearly and recognize that you already have been manifesting a miracle to happen for a long time, and that just because things are not working exactly how your ego would like to orchestrate them does not mean that they're not coming at all. With this Two of Wands, this is talking about the decisions that you make right now are really crucial and really important to your love life. So if you're trying to decide between opening up communication with somebody else or accepting offers, I think right now the best thing to do is just to allow things to come into your life, especially with this intuitive message at the beginning. I feel like a lot of you need to practice accepting rather than going after things. And usually with fire energy, I think of active and passionate energy, but the things that you want to go after, I'm not telling you that you can't go after them, but I do think that it may be in your best interests to go after the things that you already are responsible for. With this 10 of Wands, usually 10 of Wands is a burnout card, but I think that this one especially is showing that you're almost there, and if you just keep going with the things that you've already committed to and take hold of those responsibilities that you already carry, you're going to get to this place that's cozy and warm and fulfilling and makes you feel really comfortable and really taken care of. So let's get some Buddha wisdom cards. I want to know specifically what is coming next in your love life, what you can expect to happen. Okay. This is really sweet with the, I think of union when I think of this card. I think of something that is unexpected but also divinely guided to come together. This is the primordial Buddha, the brilliant sky illuminating sun. The entire universe manifests out of awareness. I think the more that you put your focus on the thoughts that you want to manifest right now, the more that it will come into your existence. And if you put focus on the thoughts, I think that also goes back to this decision card with the way that you put your thoughts into certain things. So like if you're putting your thoughts completely towards your fears and the doubts that you've been having and the things especially that may be coming up at nighttime or when you're in periods of rest, then it keeps you from being able to go after things that you know benefit you and you know you want. So if you really put trust in the fact that things are going to come your way that you know that you need, then they do materialize in your world, and that energy is put towards them because our thoughts are energy forms and they do have a lot to do with what actually happens. So if you are feeling this Four of Cups energy where you feel like kind of defeated and frustrated and you feel like things aren't happening, especially if you're already in a partnership, I feel like a lot of you are already in some kind of relationship that you want to progress forward, especially with these two cups pouring into other cups. It's like you want the emotions to kind of move forward and to materialize for both you and another person. And if you're not with another person, that's okay. You just want things to kind of move forward and somebody to be brought into your life, I feel like. But because this isn't happening or it's happening slowly, you're getting a little impatient, and Spirit's saying, please take a step back, recognize that you still have things that you need to work on, especially if you're getting impatient. That's showing you that there's a shadow side of yourself that doesn't like to wait, that expects things to come naturally or come easily, which they can. You just need to also understand that time, especially in this reality, is an illusion a lot of the times. And the illusion of time sometimes keeps us stuck and shows and tries to distract us from the things that we know that we need to be focused on. So I want to see if there's anything else that will come out from the Buddha Wisdom deck. Any advice from pile 1 spirit guides? Okay. When stuck in anger, cultivate compassion. Yes, if some of you are frustrated or angry with your guides, with yourself, with spirit, with another person, try and put yourself in the mindset that is deconstructing the root of the problem and helps you understand what is actually happening at the core of this situation and why you may have some kind of blockages or some things that are going on that keep you from being able to move forward. Ask for signs or messages from your spirit guides, meditate on it. Just really try and get in touch if you are in a place of confusion or frustration with this stagnant energy. Finally, I'm going to get some messages from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. We'll see what energy is coming your way in your romance, what energy is coming in pile 1 in their romantic life. Oh, my card just flew out. Healing. Yes, definitely this pile is going through a change where it's being divinely guided. There are entities on the other side that are really orchestrating things to go your way. You just need to have gratitude for these beings and have gratitude for your higher self for making these things happen. Just don't have any expectations for the timeline. It's something I'm really hearing with this pile. Healing. It says the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. This is talking about bringing your heart and the things that you know to be true and help center you in your body and in this human experience together to help you understand your emotional value and your emotional level that you're currently residing at, and also harmonize everything together under a heart-centered truth that pulls from the love that you know to be real and that you want to experience, and putting it all inside of, I see this green as being your heart, and your heart sending out messages that bring everything together and put everything into something that you can really understand and then release negative emotions because of. So I think that this was really beautiful, and I think that that's it for you, pile 1. I'm going to move on to pile 2. If you have any questions or you want to get a personal reading from me, all of my information is going to be in the description, and I'll see you in a couple days for another video. Thank you. Hello, pile 2. If you chose this little clear pink fire opal piece, then this is going to be the reading on what is coming next in my love life. I feel like this pile needs to take a beat. And what I mean by that is just take a moment to really center yourself, spend some time with understanding where your emotions are currently residing. Sometimes when things happen and change really quickly in our lives, we forget to spend time really understanding how those changes have affected us and how our emotions are also impacted by these changes. I have an intuitive message that I wrote out at the beginning. That's what these little pile strips are. So what it says, you are being called to move forward. So take that message as it resonates. It doesn't necessarily mean moving on from a situation, but for a lot of you, I do feel like it means adopting a new thought pattern, moving into a new space, and seeing that you have possibly been neglecting certain aspects of yourself in this. So I'm going to be shuffling with the Wildwood Tarot. Okay, and a bunch of cards just came out, so we don't have to shuffle anymore. The first card here, 10 of Cups, the Empress, 5 of Pentacles or stones in this deck, 5 of Swords or 5 of Arrows, and then 3 of Wands. Let me get this adjusted so you can see everything. Okay, so as I was saying, we have 10 of Cups, which I feel like for this group is showing you, even though it's happiness, I feel like it's focusing on the happiness of the past, seeing how things have played to their end and seeing how things have shown you happiness and made you fulfilled, but aren't currently doing the same thing. The green woman or the empress in this deck is definitely you. You're somebody who has collected everything that you need when it comes to all four of the elements, especially from situations in your past. These are situations that, if you've been in them recently, have brought you understandings and a lot more lessons than you actually have been able to recognize. And I feel like sitting down and really thinking, how have I grown? How have I changed? How am I different in this situation than I was in the past? And trying to collect your thoughts, knowing everything that you've been through has gotten you to the point that you're at, and also taught you lessons about different situations. How was I thinking in this situation when I first went into it? How was I feeling? What things was I pursuing in my personal life? And how has my material world changed? Have I changed a lot about how I look? Have I changed about how I conceptualize myself? Things like that. Don't really focus on another person when you do this. Think a lot about how it's affected you and what you're doing within yourself. So, Five of Pentacles is having the strength, especially with the word endurance that comes up here, having the strength to cultivate your own fire, because this child is sitting there taking a little time out, seeing that there have been changes going on in the external world with this lightning that's happening there. Sudden and drastic things have changed the way that they needed to take refuge, and then they're tending a fire, which is talking about figuring out your own creative pursuits and your own passions and seeing how that's been altered or changed in the recent past. And I feel like for a lot of this group, you're going to get a lot of creative spark from spirit or source to do other things and pursue things that you may have wanted to do for a long time. And I feel like a lot of you, this will be a cleansing experience and cleanse you of any negativity that you may have absorbed from recent romantic relationships. You're going to be pushed into a direction where creative and self-appreciative things happen for you, and you just have a newfound reliance and appreciation for yourself, because I feel like a lot of you may have lost touch with who you were because of things that have happened, especially with this Five of Arrows being frustration. I feel like somebody may have not had your best interests at heart, and they kind of saw you, I'm hearing the phrase, shot down. So they may have seen you as somebody who was doing better than them, and so they purposefully would try and shoot you down to bring you down. They saw that you were at an elevated vibration, elevated level, you were just had a better mindset, and somebody tried to snatch that from you or pull you away from that, and you're realizing, I'm a high vibrational being, I am somebody who has this wonderful mindset and all these wonderful qualities about myself. How the heck was I ever brought down by these people who just didn't understand that about me? And you're really seeing that you are being called to go inside and invest in the things that you know to be true and that you want to do to impact others in this life. With this Three of Wands here, or Three of Bows, it says fulfillment. Fulfillment talks about being fully aware that you are headed on a very spectacular journey, and knowing that you were meant to go on this journey, and that it's going to be something that you are fully confident in pursuing and going after. I feel like a lot of you are having a revelation to yourselves of what kind of creative pursuits really affect your soul. And creative things don't even have to be just the traditional, what you think of as like art or crafty things. It could be being creative in the way that you take care of yourself, the way that you interact with other people, the way that you impact your job or your career. And you just have this newfound confidence, and you know that you are meant to harmonize different levels of what is happening in your life to bring you into this place where you are able to fully represent yourself in a way that you haven't been able to before. And you're okay with this solitary aspect of this journey because you are falling in love with yourself. Let's get some Buddha wisdom cards because I feel like these can give you some advice of what to expect. What is coming for pile 2's love life at this moment? Okay. I need 2 cards come out. Yes. So this is a fierce, purba-wielding blue dakini, conduit from the sky to the earth. Be fierce and vanquish whatever is holding you back. This is talking about getting really in touch with whatever has affected you and making the resolve to release it and let it go. Keep things out of your reality that just suck your energy, recognizing what those things are, and also making a pact to develop really clear and beneficial boundaries for yourself in those areas. This is Kali Troma Nagmo, goddess of time. Conquer ignorance and delusion through helping others. This dakini is much like that one. They both have a very similar appearance with the blue, but this one talks about, again, with the fire around her is cleansing and releasing any negative energies or people from around her. I feel like a lot of you are letting go of certain people, or for various people, it could be many people that you viewed as love interests, or you were kind of just allowing to hang around and pull energy off of you, but you're kind of realizing, okay, no, I need to release this and cleanse my energy, cleanse my aura, focus on myself, and focus on what is feeding me and feeding my soul right now. Spending a lot of time with yourself and kind of going in and allowing yourself to be a really strong and magnetizing force that you kind of decide what you allow to come into your reality and what affects you. Lastly, here we have the Creation Fusion Mandala, the Bliss Swirls of Delight, Focus on Beauty, Manifest Harmony. Yes, if you want something better to come in and affect you, focus on the beauty that already exists in your life. Focus on the beauty that you find in yourself, and harmonious and beautiful circumstances will come in to really heal your soul and make sure that you are getting what you need from the situations that you're in. Let's do one last card from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. Oh, one came out. Root chakra. Yes, especially a lot of us right now need to focus on healing our root chakra and going in and understanding how that is imbalanced right now and how we are afraid of certain circumstances that are in our conscious reality. You may have been affected, I'm hearing, with some kind of abuse from past partners that made you question your self-worth and made you question your purpose in this life and question people's intentions and stuff. And I feel like that's why you need to go within and spend some time really appreciating yourself right now. This root chakra card says, the frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as in the physical world. So this reminds us that sometimes we need to get in touch with people or places or routines that help us feel like we are grounded and purposeful, and the work that we're doing and the things that we're investing in also are benefiting us in our everyday and helping us get into a place where we can rely on ourselves more and rely on the people that we hold close to us. The people that you have in your immediate circumstances that you spend the most time with, I think it's like the top 5 people, they determine how you act and how you feel about yourself. So if you're spending a lot of time interacting with people that are really hard on themselves, you're going to be more critical of yourself, or you're going to feel less secure in your surroundings if you are constantly talking to people that are focusing on negative or focusing on their lack or their fears and things like that. It's not necessarily to say that there's anything wrong with those people, but in order to protect your own energy and to really ground yourself and help yourself feel good, you need to spend time reevaluating those relationships and protecting the amount of time that you do choose to spend with people who are focused on things that you do not want to be focused on right now. So I think that's it. Thank you, pile 2. I'm going to move on to pile 3. If you have any questions or you'd like to book a personal reading, all of my information is going to be in the description. Otherwise, I post videos at least once a week, so keep your eye out for that. Thank you so much. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this tiger's eye, this is going to be your reading. I'm feeling really light and full of happiness and optimism right now. I feel like this pile's really focused on making themselves happy and taking happiness and running with it. Literally, whatever is in your physical reality, you are going to make the best of it right now. And I feel like that is super positive and something that you should definitely continue doing. This is a really healthy mindset as well, especially in this time where a lot of things can be or feel kind of uncertain. So I have a little intuitive message that I wrote out before this video started being filmed, and this says, what you are asking for is coming. Have patience. So the energy that you're in with this happiness, focusing on the good, keep that around. If you are not fully resonating with that and you're kind of in limbo, wondering what is happening and trying to manifest something positive, this is a confirmation that something really positive and beneficial to you is on its way. You just need to sit down with yourself and have patience and faith that what you desire and the things that you know that you deserve are always on their way to you. It just doesn't always come in the timing that we expect as humans, because in our human experience we get caught up in silly things like time, and that's why sometimes 30 seconds can feel like an hour, and sometimes an hour can feel like it was only 5 minutes long. So we need to sometimes disillusion ourselves from time and understand that things are always coming our way, just in divine timing. So I'm going to shuffle and ask what you need. Cards already flew out. I love when that happens. How many cards are here? I think that's enough. So this is interesting. The Empress, 10 of Cups, and we have the 7 of Stones, healing. So the Empress here definitely is talking about you being a divine counterpart. You do not have to be a feminine person. You could be a masculine person as well. But this is showing that you are really mixing everything that you have learned in the past into something that is well-rounded. And I feel like also with these, I don't know if you can see right here, but there are these little things that she's holding. It's like a little tree man and then a chameleon looking creature. And I feel like these are your guides that are also working with you. So it's like she's brewing something in this pot, which is being fueled by her creative passion, the things that she's doing to focus on herself. I feel like a lot of you have really invested in yourself and taken the time to make yourself into this green woman who is intuitive, who has the focus on the nature of life and how nature feeds her soul, and you've really spent time with Mother Earth, really appreciating and understanding how your physical life affects your spiritual life as well. And your guides right now are being called in to help you manifest the things that you desire because you deserve it. And that's a really wonderful thing. You also have the radiance of the sun. I feel like something that just makes you shine regardless of the circumstances that are in your physical world. You understand that you're always provided for and that something good is always on its way. And that is definitely what is making this build up. I feel like for a lot of you, I'm getting the image of a snowball that goes down a mountain, and it starts out as something small, and as you have faith and you throw all of your power and your good deeds and your inner knowing that things are going to work out for you, the greater it builds and the more that it gains this momentum and this strength to become something so big and so great. With the 10 of Cups, happiness, I feel like this is talking about whatever situation is coming your way. It is going to be something that is extremely fulfilling and something that just kind of erupts and bursts and fills. It's though this waterfall is filling all of these cups immeasurably, and to the point where they just run over and run into a river, and something that goes on for a long time. I feel like for a lot of you, if you chose this pile, there is something huge that is happening, and something that is going to continue for a long time. If you've been asking for something that is more long term, or something that is going to be fulfilling for a long time and fill you up for so many different aspects of your emotional life, whether this be also being able to help friends, family, use your emotions properly in a career, this is what is going to be brought into your reality soon. It's just taking its sweet time to kind of cascade over the edge of the waterfall. With this 7 of Pentacles, in this deck, it's 7 of Stones, but it's talking about earth energy. So I feel like you're also, usually with 7 of Pentacles, this is the contemplation right before things start happening and you start doing the proper things that you need to be accomplishing to get into the actual work that is being done to make this happen. So I feel like right now you're kind of, if you're doing work on yourself that is bringing you the ability to emotionally heal, continue doing that, because especially for this pile, I feel like you're heading out of a period of shadow work where you're really understanding who you are as a person because of this work. This is very mature energy. This is energy that knows that you need to focus on laying old things to rest, understanding that past situations need to fully die in your mind and in your heart in order to be able to move forward effectively. Also, if you have been doing any work with crystals or stones, continue to do that. Maybe even having protective stones that enhance, if you do your own tarot reading, or if you do any kind of therapy or healing practices, whatever it may be, even if it's just sitting there mulling through your own thoughts on your bed, just sitting there with some kind of protective or healing entity with you, whether that be stones that make you feel a sense of healing, or it could be burning incense, burning a candle, anything that you have access to is really going to help call in the spirit guides that help guide the thoughts that you have that lead you to this healing practice. So I think it's also interesting, you are definitely this green woman, because she's repeated here. She's the one also doing this healing process right now. So going within and knowing that your inner light is being called down from the heavens, helping you transform and transmute any negative energy that may have been following you from your past that you're just letting go, so that you can go into this 10 of Cups and this beautiful exchange of energy can happen in your reality. Let's see what else is coming for pile 3. one card. Yes, Vishnu, the god preserver of the celestial realms. The life force within us is the same power that created the universe. So this depiction actually shows Vishnu with his wife or his partner. I'm not really sure about the gender of all of the deities, but that doesn't really matter. It just shows a partnership where you are able to really rely on this person and find stability on this person, especially with the red color and being reflected around the mind of Vishnu. I feel like for you, there are also beings that are protecting any divine union that you're looking towards and preserving the wonderful and beautiful elements that make up this connection and allow for healing to happen. A lot of heavy and influential energy is influencing this pile's connections and their specifically romantic life that is happening right now. I feel like calling upon your guides or calling upon higher beings that you know to walk with you and to help you with this is going to be really impactful at this moment and is going to help this move forward in the way that you desire, because nobody can do things completely on their own, especially when it comes to something that has so much weight as this situation is going to have for you. This is going to be something that is really detrimental, that you spend time making sure that it happens in the right way and that you're doing everything that you need to do before you get into this situation. Call upon your guides and have help right now while you still have the ability to let go of old things and really work through old and negative energy that just isn't serving you from the past, so that it doesn't come up in the future and you can just completely focus on harmony. Lastly, we have from this deck, Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle, one of my favorites, Emergence. The frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. This is talking about our emotional intelligence, how it is guided from source, and just really connecting with a higher realm in order to bring us an understanding of our emotions and how we have been expressing them, how they have been expressing themselves to us, the purpose of that, and helping us move forward so that we can become lighter and happier and full of a vitality for life. So I think that that's it, pile 3. This was really reassuring, and I hope that this resonated and helped you feel grounded and understand that you are on the right path in life. If you have any questions or you'd like to book a personal reading with me, all of my information is going to be in the description box below, as usual. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to my 4th and final pile, so let's go. Hello, pile 4. If you chose this purple fire opal, then this is going to be a reading. Immediately, I am picking up on some energy of someone who possibly has been a little bit confused recently about why their path looks the way that it does, what is happening in regards to specifically a connection with a certain person, or why certain people are being drawn and attracted to them or being brought into their life. So let's dive into that. I have an intuitive message that I wrote out for this pile, and it says self-love is needed first. Yes, if you're having confusing or mixed messages, it's because you haven't connected with yourself in the way that you need to help you understand how you feel about yourself and the ways in which you treat yourself as well. And I feel like sometimes we treat ourselves in self-destructive ways and we don't even realize that these things are destructive. It could be the diet that you have, the routines that you have established, whether this be forgetting to take care of yourself, at certain times of the day. It could be forgetting to like brush your teeth in the morning or wash your face before you go to sleep at night, spending a couple days in bed without giving yourself the motivation or the self-talk that reminds you that it is important to do some productive things or things that make your soul feel like it's productive, help you feel nourished, help you feel like you're really fulfilling your identity and what you're meant to do. Our souls crave that connection with others, the connection with ourselves as well, and the connection with source or with a higher power. And when we don't spend that time to go in and really connect with beings that are walking with us or connect with our spiritual gifts or the things that we know help us feel fulfilled, that is why negative energies get attracted to us and brought towards us when we are not expecting them. And it can be kind of confusing, but regardless of what kind of romantic situation you're already in, this pile especially needs to spend some time doing self-care in order to clear out any negative energy that they are holding within themselves. So let's ask for some cards. Oh, and whoa. Okay, quite a few cards just came out. Five of Cups, which in this deck is interesting and kind of unique because it says the word ecstasy and has somebody dancing, and I feel like this definitely has to do with rituals. I don't know if any of you are into rituals, but in the past when I have felt extremely down on myself or confused about a situation that I'm in on my current journey, I look into doing some kind of ritual. This doesn't have to be as scary as it sounds if you've never done a ritual. This could even be, like, for example, the first ritual I ever did was a ritual that I found from some spiritual teacher that I was watching on YouTube at the time. I forget their name, but it was a release ritual where I thought of people who I had perceived as not having an even emotional exchange with me in the past, and I just sat and meditated on them thinking, I forgive you, thank you, I love you, something like that. I don't remember, I'm not doing the ritual justice, but I also did a body scrub to cleanse my aura of any negative energy, also just help my skin and my overall well-being feel rejuvenated and refreshed and released of any old energy that was on me. And I sat with incense burning and I just prayed and meditated and connected with my spirit guides. So this, I feel like, is definitely calling you to do some kind of ritual, especially at night, or just spending time in nature outside. Stargazing could also be something that would really help you. Just some kind of cleansing that really gets your mind to understand that you are not alone and you're never by yourself on this journey. Here we have the Ace of Swords or Ace of Arrows in this deck, the breath of life. Yes. Definitely, if you have not been meditating, try and meditate, because the breath is the force that brings us into our moment, helps us understand exactly where we are, understand the emotions that we feel, get us in touch with our body as well, help us feel like we are capable of taking the situation that we're in at the moment and transforming it and understanding it as well. Also, sending any thoughts that you have out to the universe, up to your guides. Sometimes we can't do everything by ourselves. Just letting those things out, letting them go to a higher force, and understanding that they can take care of things for us as well and help us transform thought patterns and give us messages and signs for certain situations that are really difficult. Two of Swords or Arrows in this deck, injustice. So I feel like you may feel like certain people in your life, especially romantic partners, owe you something or owe you an explanation, because I feel like certain conversations that you want to have happen just have not happened for you, and it can make you really frustrated. And I feel like with this group, that's why you're being called to do some self-love and understand maybe how you have affected the situation, and how I feel like some of you, it's not necessarily that you don't deserve a conversation or you don't deserve closure. You do deserve it, but people may be hesitant to reach out to you because of the ways that you react when they do reach out. Sometimes if we hold somebody on a pedestal, or we are unnecessarily harsh about certain situations, or we have a hard time seeing the reality of situations, people have a hard time reaching out to us and talking to us about inner emotions or the truth that they experience in a situation. And I'm getting a little choked up, I guess, because I feel like for some of you, some people really want to be able to share with you what they're going through, but they feel like they can't get to that level with you if you don't make that space in the first place. I feel like if you do want a conversation to happen, for some of you, reaching out with the intention that you're creating space from your heart and you're willing to listen to anything that the person has to say and really putting that out there. People can feel the intention of anything, even if it's over social media or the internet, and it's not face to face. If it is face to face, they definitely can pick up on the intention behind every word that you say. We have the Page of Swords, the Wren. I feel like this is also you feeling a little bit iced out or left in the cold right now, and that's what's making your thoughts kind of race and flourish. With this, I would recommend not spending a lot of time mulling on certain thoughts or being stuck on thought patterns that you may have had in the past, and trying to push forward and trying to push into a new way of thinking, especially with this Ace of Swords right here and then the Page. It's telling you that you're being pushed to think about yourself first, and also integrate both your passionate masculine energy and then your feminine or intuitive energy that bridge the gap between your physical realm and your spiritual body. We have here the Ancestor, or card 5, which is the Hierophant. This also is talking about, I feel like this group really has a spiritual nature to them, where you do quite a few things that, whether that's like researching into spiritual things or spiritual rituals or practices, you are being called right now to connect with your ancestors. Your ancestors are really trying to give you the guidance that you need to be able to build up you as an individual, so that you can really have the relationships that you want and help you reach towards a more sunny outlook on love and transforming generational trauma. I'm hearing a lot of you are coming from situations where in the past, maybe whether it be your parents or your aunts and uncles, grandparents, anyone in your family who has had abusive or negative relationships or just harmful attachment styles to romance and other people, you're seeking to transform that and go into a place of secure attachment and self-awareness. I'm also hearing for this group, and that's why you've stumbled upon this message today, which is telling you that you can do the spiritual work that needs to happen if you stop focusing on how others have done wrong things. I feel like a lot of you may be in a place of blame, where you feel like you need to blame other people for the situation that you're at right now, and that is just not going to help you progress and move into a place where you're really appreciating yourself. Because if you're focused on other people, you cannot focus on your own good qualities. So I feel like With the other groups, I used the Buddha Wisdom cards, but I want to jump straight to the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle to look into what energy is going to be coming into your love life right now. And immediately this card, Soul Time, just came out, and I want you to be able to still see these cards. But Soul Time says, the frequency of Soul Time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. This is definitely getting you in touch with your spiritual side and understanding how your spiritual side also impacts your identity and helps others understand your full expression of your identity as well. The way that you express yourself is crucial right now because it is very connected to your spiritual side and helps you transform the situations that are and have affected your emotional being and your spiritual body. I think that that's it, pile 4. I hope that this message resonated and helps you go into a place where you can transform negative or harmful thought patterns that have been affecting you in the past and are affecting your present. So if you have any other questions or you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, all of my information is going to be in the description box, like usual. Otherwise, dwell in happiness, and I will see you in the next video. I put out at least one video a week, so expect one in the next couple days. Thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye.